Hello everyone. Today we're gonna look at Azure Active Directory. So we're gonna create a couple of users under Active Directories, and we're gonna give them various access so they can able to use resources. We're gonna also look into different type of resource access for the user, and we will test few bits. Okay, now let's start by creating a resource group. Actually, I'm gonna create two resource group here. So let's create resource group first. Gonna call this one resource group first resource group, so it's easy to identify. First resource group East US. I'm gonna keep it in a East US region. Okay, that's done. And then now let's create another resource group. And this one we're gonna call it second resource group East US. Okay, perfect. So that's created. Now let's launch let's launch few VMs in each of the resource groups. So we're gonna use first resource group VM one. So it's easy to identify. Just gonna use Ubuntu. We won't gonna log into it. We just select the image not available. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, and let's do our normal username and password. Okay, just gonna pretty much go next. Let me just create it because we won't gonna be logging into it. We just creating these ones to check our access. Okay, that's created. Let's try. Just gonna launch another VM. It's always best practice to wait for the first resource to get deployed, but just gonna quickly see. So we're gonna call this one second VM. Like I said, I'm just doing some testing, so I'm just not concerned about the resources. And then let's do desktop, and that's the username. One, two. Okay, so let's create this one. That's done. So wait for this one to deploy. This the submission is done. Okay, let me put you on a pause for now while it's getting deployed. Just want to save time. Okay, so that's deployed. So let's quickly check what we have done so far. So we got first resource group in East US with one VM, and second resource group with the second VM. So cool. Yep, first resource group and second resource group. Okay, so now let's go to our Active Directory. So you can search it from here as well. And as you can see, this is our default directory name. This is primary domain, and we are just using the free license at the moment. It says 3 user. I think I was testing something earlier. That's okay. We were testing something earlier, so I'm just gonna get rid of these two users. We don't need them actually. Okay, that's done, and let's do a refresh. Okay, now let's try to create few users. So how you can create user, there's a tab on the top. You can click this one, and another thing I'm just gonna quickly show. You can even go from here and create a user, and it will take you there. So let's create a user. So I will call this user as user one. Okay, yeah, because it's already I've created this one already. It's not been deleted like fully. It will take some time. So let's use another example. So I will call it guest one, and there's a clipboard. You can copy the whole name of your user, and let me copy that one and paste it here. So this is our user, full username. Just gonna keep this one aside, and the rest is just like next, next, next. You pretty much don't need to do anything here. You can enter the details if you want, but I'm just gonna go with this. Okay, this is a good option here. So you got either you can create a password or you can auto generate a password, and click show, copy this password, and there's a thing which I'm gonna show you when we log into here, into this user account. So this is our temporary password, I would say. And then these fields, it's up to you. You can fill it up. I just creating a test user. Here we go. So our first user is created. While we are here, let's try to create another user. We're gonna call it guest two, or let me call it Chris, and copy this one because it's easy to differentiate. Guest one, guest two can get a bit complicated sometimes because the numbers can be confusing sometimes. So that's done. Let's do another auto generate, show password, copy password. So Chris got this password and our guest one got that password. So that's done. And let's create this one. Okay, so we got two users here. As you can see, we haven't assigned, there is no, these users are not in any of the resource group yet. So or doesn't got any resource allocated. So that's done. Now I need to log into this user. So what you can do, I will prefer if you use a different browser, because when I was testing this, if you're gonna use another tab here, it won't gonna let you go in. It will probably ask you to sign out. Once you sign out, you will be signing out from your main Azure portal as well. So let's open another browser. I will use Edge as a testing here, and let's go to Azure portal. Okay, I can see there is another user sign out. Let me sign out this one completely. Okay, now this is where it's asking you to enter your username. So let's go with guest one here for now. Okay, and the password, the password which we randomly generated from there. Copy and paste here. Okay, now that's the thing which I want to show you. Now it's asking us to change password here. So it will pick up, it's a random generated password, and it will ask user to change the password while they're logging in. Okay, that's done. I think I have sign in. Yeah, that password has been used a few times. Okay, let me try this. I hope that will work. They're getting more. We have seen that password too many times before. That's very interesting. Okay, I need to use a very. Okay, with the password, I will tell you another interesting thing. You can use password generator to generate password. password generator. Just small like an app. So password generator, I agree with this. It will generate a random password. And I will say let's use generator. No, 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 this is too complicated. Let's see it character. Okay, so let's copy this password. Since we are doing testing, I will suggest you don't share password with anyone at all. Since it's a random generated password, it will disappear. Okay, as you can see, it's picked up. I'm just gonna make a note here. Okay, with this one, I will skip it for 14 days since we are doing just a test. Okay, as you can see, we are into our open this one. Yeah, we are into our user account into the portal, and as you can see, this user is guest one, and there is literally nothing you can see. Now let's start giving some access. So for access, let's go to the resource group. As you say, as you know that everything in Azure is resource based. So let's go to resource group. Let's go to first resource. In here, you can see these are the resource services under that resource. So the thing which you need to do now, can you see this access control IAM? So let's click here. In here, let's see what role assignment is under this access resource group access. So literally there is nothing. This is one of the distribution lit I have created. Let me delete this one because I don't want to get things confused. Okay, and if I do refresh, it should have disappeared. Okay, it will go in a minute. It just takes time. Okay, there is no user, as you can see underneath this one. There is no role assignment done. So let's go back to check access. Now what we want to do here, we want to give this guest one user access, read, only read access to this resource. So you need to go into the resource, go to the access control, click on check access and do add. And then what you're trying to do here, adding a role assignment. So let's click on role assignment. And now in role assignment, you need to select what type of role you want to assign. As I said, I just want to give it a reader for now. And then select which user. So we are after guest one. So I will select guest one here and save. Okay, that's done. Yeah, it's quick to happen here, but on this side, you need to wait. With Azure, sometimes you need to be patient, but oh, perfect. So that's after refresh, I can see it came up. Yeah, it says error, but actually it's replicating in the background. Like I said, with Azure, you need to be with patient. So what I usually do, I sign out completely. And let's go back in password. Okay, that's interesting. Luckily, we kept the passwords here. Keep saying, repeating myself again, please don't share your passwords. Since this is a random password, I will delete everything once I finish this demo, so nobody should have able to log in. Okay, so that's done. And now let's click on resource group. Still not replicated yet. So we will wait for a few more minutes. I will pause it for a minute and then we will I don't want to, yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, it came back. So I was thinking to pause it to wait, but no, it's came back. So here you go. So as you can see, our resource group is appearing here now. Okay, now let's go to our virtual machine tab. As we have given it a read access only, let's try to stop this machine and see if we can able to stop it. Let me click OK and OK. Yep, here you go. You can see an error comes up. So it says cannot stop because this user with this ID does not have authentication to perform this action. Okay, I'm just gonna move this window aside and let's go back to our access management and do add. Okay, before doing add, let me show you the role assignment. In the role, under the role assignment, you can see our user have a guest user have a read access only. So hello, yeah. So what we were testing, yeah, we said it's just got a read access here. If I do refresh, and because of read access, it's can't able to stop the VM. So let's try to change the access. If I go to check access here and do add a role assignment, and let's give it a contributor access, which will let this user. Let me see if we can able to before contributor. Like you can do different type of access. So I was thinking to give only access where it can shut down the machine, but let's give it a contributor access and click save. Okay, that's done. And now if I go to the role assignments underneath this one, you can see because this same user comes under the contributor access. Okay, there will be a question now, which access is valid for this user, either contributor or reader. So whichever access got more privileges will be applied to this user. So now this user got a contributor access. Having said that, the user is in reader group as well, but contributor will take over from reader. So it will be like a supervisee. So it will take this one. So if I do refresh, you can see it's there. Cool. Okay, now, and just to let you know, if you see the scope, you need to, so there, I should have defined this one before. Okay, let me go through them. So type is what type of application or what type of user is it who got access. Role is what type of role user got, contributor or reader, and then scope. This is very important to understand. So this means these two apps, they are automation thing and they got subscription contributor. So they are on subscription base and this one is on resource base. So we will check the subscription as well further. So I will use the same account to show you where we can change the subscription level as well. Okay, now that's done. Now if I come back to our user, which was login, and let's do a refresh. Okay, once we done refresh, now let's try to stop. I'm sure the policies has been applied to this. Now if I do try to do stop, and let's see. It still fail. Yep, that's fine. It can take some time, like I said. It's just replication. So I will give it few more minutes or seconds, I will say. And let's go to our machine and let's try to stop it again. Okay, fair enough. It will take time. Let me sign out. And let's do password. Oh, yep, this is a password. And sign in. We'll skip this one for now. And let's go to our VM. As you can see now, it's doing something like it's trying to stop. I will wait for it to stop and then we will jump onto the next access. So if you read about the contributor and owner and that type of access, so contributor is quite powerful access, which means like they can able to create machines as well. So that's what we're gonna test after this machine stop. Okay, let's do this while it's getting stopped. Let's go to our resource group. We can only able to see one resource group at the moment. So if I click on resource group, create, and let's go to compute and create, and I will call it VM2 hyphen guest create. So we are creating this. We are creating this VM within the guest user, which got contributor access, right? Okay. Now, I'm not gonna log in. I'm just gonna click create. Let me put this email address which I got. Let's create. Okay, just keep this thing in mind. Okay, create. We don't need these things. I should have selected. Yeah, the view is getting different. Okay, no problem. Okay, it's creating now. So just remember that we are creating this machine under the guest one user, which got contributor access. Now, if I go back to our main portal and try to look for VM under our resource group, if I do refresh, you will see that machine will appear in a minute. So it's getting created, VM2 guest create. So yep, that's created. And if I don't know why the view is getting a bit funny here. Okay, no, that's done. So if I go into the resource group, you can see VM2 guest is created and just wait for here. Yeah, here we go. So it start appearing here. So it's the same resource group. Cool, right? So that's done. Okay, now let's change. Now let me go back to the resource group. So you need to remember, you need to make changes inside the resource group. So I go back to the resource group and I click on this access control IAM role base. You can see it's got contributor access. If I click here, this is our user. Don't want to delete the user. So what I was trying to add here, let me try to deny this access. I don't want it to be a contributor and see if it works. No, you need to have, so for this you need to have because we are using a free account, we can't able to do it, but you can do it. Like I said, just select this one and it should work. Okay, now let's try to give this guest. Let me check one more thing. No, it won't. Okay, let me give this account another access, which is the owner access. So the owner access can give access to the other users as well. So let's give this owner access, select guest, and click save. So now once it's got the owner access, which is guest one, we're gonna go into that resource and we're gonna give our Chris user access in this portal, which is under the guest user one. Okay, now let's wait for some time. Yeah, you can see it's got all the access. I should have showed you before, because if it doesn't have the owner access, it should say deny here. So now let's give contributor access to Chris of this resource group and click save. Now Chris should able to have access as well. Okay, so now this is covered on a contributor and read. Now there's another interesting thing which I mentioned. I will show you. If I go to resource group here, contributor is there, reader is there. So these are subscription base level, these are resource book base level. Now what if we want to give it under the subscription now? So if I click on subscription, you can have access control here as well. And then from here, these are the only access under the subscription level. So if I do add, and let's select owner under the subscription, because this is the highest you can give, and then select guest one and click save. Okay, that's done. And if I do refresh, I can take a few more minutes. And if I go to my first source group and click on chess role base, you can see under the owner, guest got access to subscription, which is inherited, because everything will inherit since it's under the subscription. He got the resource group access as well, and reader access as well under the resource group. Cool. I think that's pretty much it what we want to cover. So just want to show you like the role base, the scope, what's the scope of this user. So this user, guest one, got subscription level scope, and then in resource level under the owner and under the reader. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to like create this a very long video, but I'm pretty sure you understand what we were trying to cover in this topic. This is very straightforward. You just need to remember the type of access you can give and where you can give the access. So it's resource based level, like I said, and then subscription based level. And then under this, you can have either reader, writer, contributor, or owner, or any other access you want to give. You can select from the drop down from here. Let me show you. Yep. And you can choose any of them. Perfect. Okay, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you with another video soon then. Thanks for now.